Hi, it's Andrew here at Bayside. I was just reading the news this morning and there was an embarrassing incident on Zoom. Always be careful of Zoom. Because of this sort of crazy season that we're in, if you want to audition for a movie part, well, you've got to do it via Zoom. And there was this young actor, he's up and coming, he's struggling, and he got in front of his camera, and the director and the crew, they were on different cameras looking in and about the interview. And the director, not realizing that he wasn't muted, started to make some derogatory comments about the young and up-and-coming actor's apartment and saying, oh my goodness, it's so small, it's so poor, it's so... And the young guy said, oh, well, if you give me the job, I can move out of here. Ow, everybody. You know what we got to do? We got to be careful what we do with our mouths, because in terms of living in the presence of God, we're always unmuted, everybody. God can hear everything. Do you know what? Some people, they can't hear what I say about them, but God knows what I say about them. He even knows what I think about them. There's a very challenging verse, and it's from the book of James, and it simply says this, James 3, verse 9. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. James calls it out here. He basically says you can't go to church and use your mouth to worship God and yet use the same tongue to speak about someone. Worse than that, actually curse them, because ultimately they're made in the image of God. It's all God. So whether I'm speaking to God or whether I'm speaking to you, I got to remember God's involved in it, because He is God and you're made in the image of God. I can't bless and then curse. I got to remember God's in every single person. I think it's good to remember this, especially in the days that we're living in. Why? Because there's so much division, and we can start viewing people as our enemy, and before you know it, we're not just cursing individuals, it's whole people groups that we're falling out with. I'm going to encourage you today, no matter what you're doing, worship God with your tongue, and instead of cursing someone else, bless them, love them. And if you're even struggling to say something good, at least use your tongue to pray for them this day. Hey, everyone, we live unmuted lives. Let's remember that. God bless you today.